Elated Sydneysiders celebration on Monday was a swan song to almost 4 months of coronavirus lockdown. They celebrated the day, putting behind them a period of blood, sweat, and no beers in Australia's largest city. Sydney's more than 5 million residents were subjected to a 106-day lockdown designed to limit the march of the highly transmissible Delta variant. With new infections now falling, New South Wales state recorded 496 cases on Monday and more than 70% of over 16s fully vaccinated. The city is dusting off the cobwebs. From midnight, pubs, restaurants, and cafes began throwing open their doors to anyone who could prove they were vaccinated. They included 32-year-old Garth Diemer and his team of high-spirited construction workers who were making the most of a rain day. We knew the pubs were going to be open about 10 a.m. because it's Freedom Day, so I thought I would take the blokes down for a couple of schooners, he told AFP. Across the city, shaggy-haired customers lined up outside hairdressers to get eyebrow raising, home cuts and dye jobs repaired. For many, the end of lockdown was a chance to get into shops. At midnight, hundreds of people poured into a discount Kmart store in the western Sydney suburb of Mount Druitt, with social media images showing long queues inside. For others, it was a chance to put their business back on track. Since June, shops, schools, salons, and offices have been closed for non-essential workers, and there have been unprecedented restrictions on personal freedom. There were bans on everything from traveling more than 5 kilometers from home, visiting family, playing squash, browsing in supermarkets to attending funerals. For most of the pandemic, Australia successfully suppressed infection through border closures, lockdowns, and aggressive testing and tracing. But the Delta variant put paid to any dream of COVID-0, at least in the largest cities of Melbourne and Sydney, which are now learning to living with COVID. It's a big day for our state, said New South Wales recently appointed Conservative Premier Dominic Perrottet. After 100 days of blood, sweat, and no beers, he said, "You have earned it." Prime Minister Scott Morrison hailed the day as one to celebrate things once taken for granted. Being with family and friends, getting a haircut, grabbing a meal together, going to the pub and having a beer with your mates. There will still be limits on mass gatherings and international borders, and schools will not fully reopen for a few weeks yet. But otherwise, daily life is beginning to look more like normal, with crowds again gathering at bus stops and the hum of traffic growing a little louder. Despite the celebratory mood, there are lingering concerns that reopening will bring a surge in infections. News Desk, Kaumudy Global.